Here's a Sager's 15-inch super zipper, not the twirler or anything, just regular
T-handle zipper.
But it's 12 flow, and we're running with Mike. Mike, say your last name.
Kuba Shivitz.
Kuba Shivitz. Kuba.
We got a Dwell 2 machine.
Mike, yeah, we're running the Dwell 2. Mike, come do a little intro about this thing. Let's shut her down. So this is the Dwell 2. Mike, give us a quick tour.
Dwell 2. So inside the yellow sheath, you've got a freshwater line, a dirty water line, and 2 extension cords. And the freshwater line goes through your axle, which is hollow. And on this side, we've got the water coming in, and it splits. The first place the water goes is to your chemical injector. Chemical injector is hooked to a 50-foot pre-spray line. Chemical injector siphons out of your chemical, which gets housed right here.
Undiluted.
Undiluted.
Set the meter to whatever it is, 1 to 32.
You want to just pull the pin out, and you can spin this, and you can set it to whatever level you want. We're at 1 to 32 right now.
Okay.
Okay. The next place your water goes is to your high-pressure pump. You got a 2-horsepower pump here that'll run 2,000 psi. The water goes through to whatever wand you want to run.
In this case, a zipper.
Water goes back into your tank. Inside your tank, you've got your filter bag.
How much collects in that tank? A gallon or 2?
Barely, because it's always getting pumped out. So here's your debris bag.
There's not much getting by that.
Not much. That's a 600 micron. In there you have another filter that's 60 micron.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you can run a 2-inch hose or a 1.5-inch hose with ease without switching anything. Let's look over here on the other machine. You can just see how the 1.5 fits right inside.
Goes inside.
So that's pretty simple. So also over here, once your water goes in the tank, it's going to get pumped out at 3 gallons a minute by way of the oscillating pump, which goes to your other axle. Your other axle is hollow, and it gets pumped through the axle and out and discharged to the toilet or wherever you're putting it. Once you're done with your reel, you're going to unplug these, tuck them in, and you're going to roll up your reel with 100 feet.
That's pretty clever.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. All right, let's go over to the Dwell 1.
All right, well, the Dwell 1 has everything the other machine has power-wise, except the Dwell 1 does not have a pre-spray built in, and it will get you 50 feet away from your water source. And let's look how easy it is to put in 2-wheel mode. Right now it's in 4.
Okay.
And you're just going to flip it up. You're going to pull your handle out, click it in place, and you're going upstairs. Pretty basic.
Pretty nice. So there's no metering system on the one?
The one is just straight cleaning. You're going to use a hydro force pre-spray for it, and yeah, go pre-spray like you normally pre-spray carpet.
Oh, okay.
So this is your portable machine. If you wanted to hook up a rotary tool, you have a plug right here in your junction box.
So no way to do a chemical rinse with this?
Well, you can siphon out of a tub or a bucket the water, and you could mix downstream, and you could have your chemical go right through the high pressure pump.
What do you mean mix? What do you mean mix downstream?
Well, let's say, where's your water source coming from? It's coming
from a
the
sink.
wall or the sink.
Okay.
Well, you can also siphon out of something. So you could siphon right out of a bucket, and you could pre-mix your chemical into there and clean with chemical. Clean with rinse.
Okay. Otherwise, you're running.
Otherwise, you're hooking your pre-spray device up to.
But when you go clean homes with this, correct?
I do. Yeah,
okay.
This is residential for me.
That's your residential tool, and you're pre-spraying. But then that means you're doing the water rinse all the time.
I'm doing water rinse, unless I want to have a chemical injector or pre-spray or chemical inside a bucket and siphon out of it. And
so if you're doing upholstery cleaning and you want to run an acid rinse, you're going to fill a 5-gallon bucket up with a pre-mix solution and draw them
with chemical. That's what you're going to do. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yes, you're right. Normally, I'm cleaning with my final rinse is water.
Okay. And whatever water they're getting out of the tap is what you get.
That's right. Yeah. Normally about 135 degrees is what I'm getting. That's what I'm rating. Every time I clean now, I'm using temperature gauge, and I'm checking my temperature. So 135 is about average.
That's with a home hot water
That's
heater.
home. Yeah, that's what I'm getting out of the house.
135. And are you playing with their
No,
thermostat on
that's
that?
even, you know, I am at high elevation. That might be different. I'm usually cleaning at 8,000 in elevation, so I'm not sure how much different that would be as far as how hot the water gets. But this is with electric heaters, with gas heaters. Gas heaters are better, that's for sure.
Okay.
But, you know, because we're on off with cleaning carpet.
Yeah.
I'm not going through their hot water heater. I'm not draining it. I'm not getting cold water unless I'm using a rotovac.
The average home hot water heater keeps up with your.
It certainly does.
It does.
I'm certainly not using more water than you are when you're showering. If I am, it's certainly over a
constantly
longer
on.
period.
Yeah.
So not a problem.
Okay. So there's no way to create that metering system on this. No room for it, or
You could, I've done situations where I have this device by itself, and you could simply put it in between your water source, let's say a sink, and your fresh water line coming in, and it will siphon.
there's no way to mount it on here. So you weren't lugging it
I don't
around.
really want it on there.
Why is that?
I get what you're saying, but that's pretty simple to do. I'll look into that. But
Well, why do you say you wouldn't want it on
at
there?
the source of the water.
Yeah.
Just because the machine sometimes is moving with you, so that would be kind of awkward, I think.
Yeah. Because the hose.
I have
Yeah.
had people use the chemical injector right near the water source.
Okay.
You know, they plugged it in right at the sink. It's a little big. There are actually some smaller ones. For that, I think I'd probably use a more compact one. There's a more compact doser is what they're called.
Doser.
Yeah.
That
The
makes
water
sense.
gets dosed in that
Gotcha.
little area.
Obviously, the vacuum's underneath. You want to show the
Sure.
the vacuum chamber container?
Yeah, so the vacuums are out and open, so you're not worried about them getting overheated in there. Very simple. They're on. It's aluminum, very solid, and they have
The other one's just on the
brackets.
other side here?
It's just facing the opposite direction.
Okay.
If you wanted to go from underneath, it's pretty simple. Same setup. Got a nice muffler here too to keep things nice and quiet. Very simple.
Gotcha,
It's
gotcha.
out and open, so you know.
Yeah, everything stays cool. Easy to work on in the house. Something goes bad.
Nobody's gonna steal anything. No shanks can be made.
What's this? An outlet?
Yeah, it's the outlet.
You run your rotovac
Yeah, we
or
run a
whatever.
rotovac through there easily because that plug is on the same line as the high pressure pump and your low pressure discharge pump, which are running about 14.2. So running a rotovac's not a problem. You're not going to blow a breaker if you're running a 15 amp breaker. No issues whatsoever.
So
I run
this
rotovac XL on there all the time.
So you put this on 220s to run it and a rotovac?
I run the vacuum motors off one cord. So the vacuum motors are run off of 20 amp, which is always in a residence. I'm going to put it under and hook it into the garbage disposal or other situations. You always have a 20 amp garbage disposal. The refrigerator's on a solo 20 amp. Usually a bathroom's a 20 amp. You go in the bathroom, I always just make sure I have the lights off just so I don't run into a problem.
Okay.
Sometimes the lights are on.
Okay.
And then of course the laundry room always has a solo 20.
Yeah. Solar 20?
Solo, meaning it's
Solo by itself. Gotcha.
Yeah, it
Okay.
cannot have anything else hooked to it. It has to be a designated 20 amp breaker.
We're going to use these today to clean this lovely couch with Jim Pemberton, Tom Forsyth. Tom, we're going to put you to work cleaning this couch here. Keep that suit on. All right, thanks, Mike. Very cool. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.